All right, so we're going to review this article on the effects that technology have on teenagers. All right, so number 1 was asking, and by the way, I gave myself 7 minutes for this, and I probably should have given myself a little bit longer. I think when you have a graph after you're reading, you should obviously give yourself a little bit longer. So the way that the test works, you've got, I believe, 50 minutes for this section, and you're going to have, I believe, 5 to 6 different readings. So it's theoretically about 10 minutes per question. Per article. Obviously, for the shorter articles, I would give yourself less time so that on articles like this, you can take more time. Anyway, first question is, what technique does the author use to support their declarations? And the answer to number 1 is D. Now, I got this one wrong because I got really excited about this answer. And I was like, oh yeah, they use the result of studies. This whole, what did the author use? That's like read the whole article, right? And I'm trying to like speed read through it. And I'm like, let's see. It's going to say something about resultados. And then it's going to say los datos. And then it's going to say tendencias, and I'm going to see porcentajes, I mean. So I see all these percentages and different words for data and stuff, and I thought, oh, okay, well, it's definitely that they are using the results of studies, right? But then, when I saw that I was wrong, cites experts and investigations. If I had just read the rest of my answers, I would have been fine, because obviously we've got Roxana Morduchowicz and we've got Liliana Meyer. So those people would have helped me figure that out had I read the rest of the question. So good job, Marchacha. Number 1 is D. All right, number 2. What is disminuyendo, which y'all remember that means going down, notablemente entre los adolescentes argentinos. So what goes down? And it says right here, first of all, the answer is activities outside of the house. Some of these, again, depending on how much time you have and how comfortable you are with what you've read, you can make guesses sometimes. This is obviously about bad internet is ruining our future, right? So obviously we spend less time outside. But let's go right here and I'll tell you where it is. Let's see. Su tiempo libre adentro de casa y enchufada a un aparato, plugged into something instead of outside. It doesn't say instead of outside, but let's see. La actividad al aire libre va quedando atrás. So it continues staying behind. And then it basically says like, due to all this stuff. So it continues staying behind is a really weird way to say that it's going down in popularity. And obviously they're doing that to see if you understand mixed vocabulary. So the answer to number 2 is A. Number 3, what is the author referring to when they use the phrase en plena era de las pantallas? So line 6, it says en plena era de las pantallas. And if you go back and read it, it's talking about technology in general, not just screens. So it wouldn't be this one. Diversión doesn't have anything to do with that. Monopolio, I don't have any idea what that would be it. It was really, hopefully, for y'all between A and B, and it was B. All right. Okay, so number 4, and what activity do adolescents participate in more than the internet? Ashamedly, I tell you that I got this one wrong because, again, I wasn't paying close attention. I actually got ahead of myself here. It's not the same as not reading all the answer choices. Up here, I chose, first it was between A and C for me because right here, it says the different percentages, right? Listen to music, and then somewhere 55%, 80% on the radio. So I was like, oh, okay. So is it on the radio or is it just listening to music? And so I was like, it's definitely not radio, so it's music. Had I kept reading, it then says 64% doing sports. So this was the one that I was going for, which was B. Just wasn't paying attention. All right. Number 5. ¿Cuál parece ser un aspecto que what appears to be an aspect that adolescents consider when they're choosing the activities that they're going to participate in? And pretty easily I found D, the right answer. So let me update this. I've got B and then D. Now, pretty easily I found it right here. Let's see, hay que pagar. So I saw pagar because I saw an answer choice, el costo, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let me look that up. So here you go. Go to the movies, theater, visit expositions, and then, or showcases. All of them, which in general you have to pay, are the least frequented. And so that is your answer right there. Okay, so obviously cost means something to these youths. All right, number 6. According to Roxana Marcachoco, that lady. So find her name. What has not changed in the life of adolescents? And it pretty quickly says, no anularon su vida social. En todo caso, generaron nuevas formas de sociabilidad juvenil. So it doesn't get rid of their whole social lives. It just generates new forms of social lives. So back to the answer choices. And for number 6, right there, interest in socializing. All right. According to Liliana Meyer, what is one of the effects, the negative effects of the use of computers? So here are my choices. Se desaniman, they get depressed. That's actually a different article, I believe. That's a no. Their mode of talking is incomprehensible. That is true, right? So again, this depends on whether or not you are looking at this article or whether you're thinking about stuff you've heard in real life. Look at the article, not real life, okay? So their physical condition deteriorates or they become more isolated. That's what that means, by the way. So aislarse is to become isolated. So if I go back and I look over here, let's see. Otros medios, let's see. Where we are. I'm sorry, here she is. No está ni bien ni mal. La computadora, even with its internet interactivity, permite la salida del mundo sin salir de casa, right here. So it allows people to kind of get out into the world without leaving the house. So me, the overthinker, am like, oh, maybe it deteriorates their physical condition because they can't go outside. But she does not say that. And I actually wasted about 30 or 40 seconds looking for her saying something about physical activity. And she doesn't really. I think she says something really small about physical activity. But again, it's nothing that... here it is. No realizan actividades. It's that small little statement, but what she does say a lot of times is, don't leave the house. Aumenta la reclusión. Aumenta means to go up, so it increases the reclusion, which is people staying inside. So the correct answer after my debate was they isolate themselves for 7. Number 8. What does she see the internet as? Again, I fell victim here. So does she see it as a distraction? That's what I think. I'm looking at all these, really bad answers about what this could be about, really, right? Is the internet a distraction? It's not really. If you read the whole article, it's not saying that it's a distraction. What it's really doing is saying they're staying inside and they're not going out and socializing with the world. It's not a distraction from the world. It's a different way that they're approaching the world. So my bad. Maybe I remembered it as being the wrong answer last year, which is brilliant. As a method or like a way of making it difficult, the free time difficult. No, not at all. As a way of destroying friendships. If y'all understood that when you were like, dude, the internet's evil, people are so mean. No, that's wrong. Again, you're reading into this. But it is an escape. And she says that in the same place that we were just talking about. It lets them leave and go out into the world without leaving their house. That's the perfect example of an escape. So, C was the right answer for 8. Number 9 says, what is the author doing at the end of the article to, what are they doing by asking their questions? So are they getting the reader to participate in future studies? No. Let's look at these questions, by the way. It says something that hay que tomar en cuenta. You have to take into account los consumos o los prácticas de su entorno cotidiano. So what is their environment? What are they doing? What are people around them doing? How many hours of TV do we adults watch? And how many times do we take kids to the museum? So what are they doing by asking those questions? So no, they don't want you to participate in a future study. This is a good answer right here, so that the lector will consider other methods of having fun, maybe, to promote that the studies take into account what the adults are doing. Sounds good. To emphasize the lack of impact that adults have on cultural consumption of material. No, this is wrong. Clearly we do. They're using that basically to point the finger back at us and say what these kids are doing is our fault. So here's our 2 choices. Is this really telling us to choose alternative methods? And if so, why did it really only give us one alternative, which are museums? So just in the fact that they didn't really give us any extra ideas, here it is, so that we also take into consideration that it's our fault. Okay, so 9 was C. Number 10. What type of information presents the graph? Let me read. This graph muestra el lugar de uso del ordenador e internet entre los adolescentes. Okay, so it is los lugares preferidos por los adolescentes. I literally read the intro, which y'all know I'm a fan of, and that was the right answer on 10. Number 11, según el gráfico, ¿dónde usan los adolescentes los ordenadores e internet con más frecuencia? So where do they use these items the most? Ordenador, internet. Su vivienda, su vivienda. Desde su vivienda. Vivienda comes from vivir. That means to me wherever they live, right? So what are other words for where they live? Hogar. And hopefully y'all know that word. If not, you now know it. There's a freaking fly. Okay. You now know it, and that is their homes. So that was really just a synonym vocabulary. And if I'm looking at it, public was not the answer. You could look at the graph and figure out that it wasn't the others just by process of elimination. But vivienda was the key word there. And then number 12, which of the following articles would complement the article that we just read? So the relationship between technology and gender, the role of stereotypes, no. It doesn't really say that. The only reason maybe it said that as an answer choice is right here. It shows the different sexes. Man, I almost killed it that time. All right. The other choice is the effects of technology on social success in the adolescence. That looks pretty good. The broken school life effect that has always happened because of current society. No, this has nothing to do with school doings, good or bad. And then the last one, digital breach and the impact on family. Again, this isn't about family, so it is B. That's the best answer.